Good evening. My name is Lauren C. This is my presentation for Intro to Epidemiology on type 2 diabetes. So the cause of type 2 diabetes. Nobody knows exactly what causes this chronic disease. Experts believe it has a strong genetic link, meaning if you have a close immediate family member with type 2 diabetes, you have a much stronger you're much more likely to develop the disease than somebody who doesn't. They can also agree that there are several environmental and lifestyle factors that play a large role in developing this disease, including being overweight, living a sedentary lifestyle, and having a family member with type 2 diabetes, as I said earlier. Those are just a few. We'll go into a few more later on. Later on being now. So population attributable risk of risk factors. We're going to be looking at a few risk factors of diabetes, including being overweight, having high blood pressure, smoking, living a sedentary lifestyle, and being 45 years old. A few numbers to get the ball rolling for us is going to be the total population of the United States, which is 247,813,910, and the total number of those citizens that have type 2 diabetes, which is going to be 30,300,000. Those numbers are coming from the Center for Disease Control website. So, the population attributable risk is basically asking, how much of the disease would be removed from the population if we got rid of the exposure. And that's calculated by taking the incidence of a disease in the population. In this case, is going to be this number right here, 300,300,000, and subtracting it by the incidence in the non-exposed, which is going to be 817,800. And so we're going to do some calculations here. So the incidence in the population is 12.2%, and the incidence in the non-exposed, again, that's people who are not overweight but still have diabetes out of the entire population, it's going to be 1.5%. And 12.2 minus 1.5 is 10.7. And then to calculate our per population attributable risk, we're going to take 10.7, divide that by the incidence in the population, and get a very large 87.7%, and make the very bold statement that 87.7% of cases of diabetes can be attributed to being overweight. I really hope I'm doing this right. It's a large number. Moving on to high blood pressure, using a similar train of thought, actually an identical train of thought, we're going to take the incidence rate in the entire population, which is 12.2%, subtracted by the incident rate of diabetes in the unexposed population, which is the population that does not have high blood pressure, and get 3.2%. So 12.2 minus 3.2 is 9%. And then 9% divided by the incidence of our population, which is 12.2%, and we get 73.7% of cases of diabetes can be attributed to high blood pressure. Of course, I'm getting these numbers and then multiplying them by 100 to get a percentage. Moving on to smoking. So, again, we have our incidence rate in the population, 12.2%, minus the incidence rate of diabetes in the non-exposed population, which is 15,028,800, and we're going to get 6.2% for that. And those two numbers subtracted are 6.14%. 6.14% divided by 12.2, and we get 50.3% of cases of diabetes can be attributed to smoking. Living a sedentary lifestyle. So again, we have our incidence in the population and our incidence in the non-exposed. So 17,937,600 people living with diabetes claim to live an active lifestyle. So 12.2 minus 7.2 equals 5%. And then 5% divided by 12.2% equals 40.9% of cases of diabetes can be attributed to a sedentary lifestyle. And then the risk of diabetes increases with age, regardless of the other factors. So the incidence rate in the population, once again, is 12.2%, subtracted by the incidence rate in the non-exposed, which is 7,032,630 people who are under 45 yet living with diabetes. It's going to be 2.8%, and then those subtracted is 9.4%. 9.4 divided by 12.2%, and we get 77% of cases of diabetes can be attributed to being over 45. So, on to the public health outreach programs. You can actually find any local program near you with the program locator on the CDC website. It's a great function. You just type in your city or your zip code or your state, and it populates with a map full of diabetes prevention programs near you. And then also, the CDC has a national CDC recognized lifestyle change program, which is a curriculum with lessons, handouts, resources to help you make healthy lifestyle changes. They give you a coach. They put you in a group of people doing the same thing. So it can be really beneficial and helpful for people trying to make lifestyle changes to make them with other people. And this program focuses on eating healthy, adding physical activity to your life, dealing with stress, so maybe not smoking, with a lot of those environmental factors that can be attributed to developing type 2 diabetes. And then also, a little more local, close to home, we have the San Diego Healthy Works Prevention Initiative. It's a national diabetes prevention program overseen by the CDC, but in San Diego, and it encourages people to take the risk test to see how at risk for diabetes or pre-diabetes you are, to talk to your doctor about the results of that test, and then to find an in-person lifestyle change program near them using the CDC program locator 2 slides earlier. And this website also includes resources for healthcare professionals and employers, so that you can encourage people, that seek you. So as an employer, you can encourage your employees to be being proactive about, the risk of diabetes and lifestyle choices and whatnot. And then here are some places where I got my numbers based on the statistics and how many people are smoking but have diabetes. This particular handout right here, the diabetes.org basic handout, is very informative and has a lot of shocking numbers. So that's it. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a great day.